after you learn all this bedding stuff, man, you can roll in a spot like I did in Indiana and be like, oh, Spartan Forge, looks like a clear cut. There's got to be a mature deer in there, and then you just roll in there and set up, because they all have things in common, just like you were saying. All big buck killers have the same
It comes together at some point.
Yes, so all big bucks come together on certain key features, and once you learn this, you can look on an aerial and hit that damn LiDAR. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can look at that LiDAR, and that gives away a ton of info for me. Like, I can pick out spots really good where I think a mature buck would be with the LiDAR layer on Spartan Forge.
Yeah, and 100%. And the other thing, like, one thing my cousin Mason does really well, like, I've scouted with him too, and the spots I've seen him kill deer. So my Rendell, in case you haven't seen any of the stuff that Mason's very not social media wise. I've had him on the podcast a bunch, but he doesn't do that. He's a couple years younger than me, but to give you a frame of reference, in Pennsylvania, in the last 6 years, he's killed 4 over 140 on public land. And one of the other ones was a 10-plus-year-old deer that was just downhill below that size. Like, just
dude, he's getting
consistent. And the places you see him kill these deer aren't places other people are going to be.
Exactly.
And when I've been with him scouting, it's funny, Mason's gotten better at explaining it because I asked so many questions, but like from the podcast standpoint, but he's like, it just feels right.
Yeah.
He's like, it just, because you start seeing these things, it's like, it just feels right. And he's like, a lot of times it doesn't have that sign. Maybe there's sign in the fringes or, in the nighttime spots, but just like, you look at these places and it's like, okay, you start to see that. Now all of a sudden you start recognize that again. Then, like you said, now you look at Spartan Forge and it's like, boom, I bet you there's a deer laying somewhere in this area, and start.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, on this wind, he'll be sitting here, just like Johnny's like, he'd never even been there, and he's like, that buck's laying right up there. That buck, he's there.
Yeah,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and he was there, dude.
He was there.
I mean, you just gamble with it and you get lucky.
Yeah,
it's
and your
all
experience, instincts.
Yeah, and if every time I don't listen to my gut in the woods, it screws me.
Yeah,
my gut will be like, sit here. And then my little devil, Johnny Devil over here, will be like, don't sit there, Rendell.
Go in a little further.
Yeah, the thermals aren't right because this wind speed, and there's a donkey over there. It's going to dynamic the wind a different way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, bro, I hear you. I'm going to go to that tree 250 yards away. Guess what?
Yeah.
That, or I'm in the tree, and guess what comes out?
Yeah.
A damn buck that I would shoot right next to that spot where the little devil told me not to sit. And
well, and the problem is though, it's not as easy as just trusting your gut, because sometimes that devil sounds like your gut.
Oh yeah,
he's over there,
he's
and
good at,
and he's like he's mixing in, and you're like, is this my gut or is this the devil talking?
Yeah.
And it's hard to.
I feel like my gut is when I'm not even thinking, because I feel like when he's scouting or doing anything, and me too, my brain's not really processing in the moment consciousness. I feel like my brain's just doing it.
Yeah.
Like if you were walking with me, I wouldn't even be talking. I'd just be like, do, talking to you about whatever,
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, oh, we need to sit right here right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like you got so much experience, you're just auto computing. So it's like my gut, I know it's my gut because it's the first instinct, just like boom. That's where you need to be, dude. It's when I start doing all the other things. Okay, I'm going to drop the milkweed. All right. Yeah. Oh, man, the wind's swirling.
All these other things, variables.
Yeah. The wind's swirling 30 yards away. There's a scrape. Is he going to come downwind? How far downwind? It's when I start adding all this other crap.
Yep.
And then I know that's not my instinct. That's just my brain overanalyzing what my instincts tell me to do.
Kind of talks you right out of the game.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where it's nice to call someone maybe you really know. Like, what do you think? Okay. And I do listen to other people because I get too much going on. I know the area, and I know almost too much about the area.
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing is, it's funny about saying you know too much about the area. It's one of those. It is so true, because there's places I've hunted for the last 10 years or so that I catch myself going into the same routines because I know things that I've known in the past, and I do the same thing. I walk the same way in. I do that. But if I would have walked 20 yards this way in on the street, even when I'm scouting, sometimes I'll do the same routes because I'm just subconsciously, that's what I've done because I know those areas. Then you go into somewhat of a newer area, like the place I took you in in rifle season to put those drives on. I used to run cameras there. I'd never even hunted the spot, but I knew some stuff from cameras 2-3 years ago. But I just looked at it and I was like, I set up 3 or 4 drives and we pushed bucks off of every one of them. I missed one.
Yeah.
My uncle ended up hitting one, and it was just like this. And it was just like they were I thought they were, but I almost wonder if, if I would have been hunting it super hard this whole time, I would have overthought it and not just went with like, okay. And it was just really funny how that worked.